Welcome back to Crochet Basics. We're ready to start part 5, working on the half double crochet. I put a little multicolored blue single crochet row here just to separate out the stitches. By the time we're finished with the basic stitches and all the videos, you'll get to see the difference between the stitch or the post length of all the stitches. It's kind of nice to have a piece that compares them all. All right, so in starting half double crochet, you're going to start it the same way you did with the foundation chain, the same way we did with the single crochet piece. The only difference is you're going to add one more chain. Down here, we chained 11. We put the hook in the second chain from the hook, and then worked a single crochet, and then all the way down. So we ended up with 10 stitches. So with single crochet, you chain for your foundation row, you chain one more than you want number of stitches. Well, it's going to be a little different with half double crochet. You're going to add 2 chains to the amount of stitches you want. So if you were starting a brand new piece right now, you would chain 12. And that would give us our 10 stitches. And instead of inserting your hook in the second chain from the hook, you would insert your hook into the third chain from the hook. All right, so that's the main difference in getting this part started. You can go ahead and do that. Pause the video and just chain 12, and then work your first stitch into the third chain from the hook. I'm going to show you how to do it from an already established base. All right, so we're at the end of the row. That means it's turning chain time. Now with single crochet, we chained 1 before we turned our work. With half double crochet, we want to add a chain to that, so we're going to chain 2 before we turn our work. The turning chain is just a little bit longer. We're basically working the height of the half double crochet stitch. That's how many chains up we want to go. So it's time to turn the work. This is a big distinction from what you've already learned with single crochet. It's going to be a little harder to see these stitch loops, and I apologize for that. It'll be easier on the next row. Instead of working the stitch in the first available stitch, we are going to skip this, and we are going to work into the next available stitch, the next available single here. And the reason for that is, now that this is a taller turning chain, it replaces that first stitch. It's going to like take the place. You can kind of see that happening right there. This will be considered the first double crochet. In fact, something I want to do right now, it won't make a whole lot of sense at this moment, but it will in a little while, is to put a stitch marker in that top of the chain 2. Okay? And that reminds me that that is actually considered a stitch. Okay, so how to make a half double crochet? We're going to start with our yarn over the hook. Remember to go from the back to the front. Okay, so we begin with that before we insert the hook into the stitch. Now we're going to work into the next stitch, not the first one, but the next one. So go ahead and insert under both loops, the front loop and the back loop. You can see that here, of the second stitch over. Yarn over, pull through the stitch, 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through all 3 loops. You might have to do a little wiggle there like I did at the end. All right. So that's a half double crochet, and we're ready to go into the next unworked stitch. You'll be working in either an unworked foundation chain or in your stitch if you're doing what I'm doing. Okay, so yarn over hook, insert, yarn over hook, pull through that stitch, yarn over through all 3. Half double crochet made. right, yarn over hook, insert into the next stitch, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3, yarn over, insert, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3. And let's work on down the row. Yarn over, insert, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3, yarn over, insert, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3. Okay, it's making a little bit taller post than we have with our single crochets. All right, yarn over, insert into the next unworked stitch or chain, yarn over through the stitch, yarn over through the loops, yarn over through all 3. Okay, yarn over, insert, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3. Okay, we have one more to go. That's the last one that's a little harder to pick up, but we can do it. All right, dig it up. I'm not sure I got both of those loops. Maybe I did. Nope, I don't think I did. There we do. Okay, I have it now. All right, so my edge is still even, and that's what we want. Okay, we're ready for our turning chain, and remember, with half double, we do a chain 2, turn, 1, 2, turn your work, and yarn over hook. Remember, skip this first one. If you happen to forget and you work into that first one, what is going to happen is you are going to start increasing your sides. You can see it already happening here. This is such a common mistake that I think every beginner makes. They'll either shrink their work or they'll grow their work, and they'll wonder what they're doing wrong. Such a simple fix. It really, really is. You just skip that first stitch because, again, your turning chain is going to take that place. So, and you know what? Let's go ahead and mark that top of the chain 2. I know this is very, very helpful for my students to do when they're just getting started, and then on, you know, some more complicated patterns too. All right, and you'll see why in just a little bit. So we're going to skip the first one, work into the next one, pick up both loops, okay, front and back. Yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3, yarn over, insert, yarn over through 1, yarn over through 3, all the way down. And just relax. Don't let your hands get so tight. They're going to start to get sore and tired, and your work is going to end up getting all tight, and it just won't look as nice. Just relax. Okay. I'm almost to the end of the row. This is my last normal stitch, and a lot of times people will just stop right there because it looks like they're at the end of the row. This is the last front and back loop normal stitch. So they'll turn right there and start working on top. Can you see what already will happen? That's a decrease happening. Remember, we marked the top of that turning chain, that's where we're going to put our next stitch. So yarn over and just insert it into that loop that you have marked. Okay, and work your double crochet there. You're going to have a nice straight edge. We can pull this marker out. All right, you're good to go. And don't worry about that little bit there. I had already woven in the yarn ends, so I just probably cinched it a little bit tight. So we're going to go ahead and work on the next row. You can do your chain 2 turn here for your turning chain, or you can turn and you can chain 2 at this point. You just need to do your chain 2. All right, we'll go ahead and we will mark the top of that turning chain. Okay, then I know where to put the hook the next time that I come across there. All right, we're skipping that first one because this becomes that first stitch. Working the second one. And remember, you don't need to, oops, I goofed there. You don't need to keep skipping stitches. That is something you only do at the front. Okay? Just keep on working on half double crochet till you're very, very comfortable with this stitch. We're just going to keep working on making taller stitches. Once you've learned the basic stitches, which is what we're going to do in this video series, you're going to learn how to combine the stitches to make really pretty stitch patterns. But you have to have your basics down first. Okay, one more normal set of loops to work through. Here we go. Okay, remember we marked the top of our turning chain, and we're going to go ahead and put the last stitch of the row in that marked spot. Okay, look at that, very nice. Go ahead and continue on until you're really comfortable. Watch this video over and over if need be. And I'll see you soon. Join me for the next Crochet Basics video.